Hey everyone, welcome to the Weeb Lounge. This anime just ended. It is an awesome anime, and it is also probably one of the goofiest ones I've ever watched. Um, okay, there's nothing glorious about this. This anime is called Deca-Dence. It is one part human, one part robot, cyborg, all in the same world at the same time, but one doesn't know the thing and the other thing, and they fly around and shoot bugs. Yeah. Uh, Roll intro. All right, I'm going to come out and just say it. If it wasn't for the second season of ReZero being aired at the same time as this anime, I think this anime might have actually been number one. It's actually incredibly good, incredibly different, unique, and weird. That's the one thing I can't get over. It is so weird. It's great. All right. Basically, you have two main characters. Natsume, who is this young human female girl that lost her hand in a Gadol attack. And the Gadols, those are like the bugs, the monsters, or whatever. They're now plaguing Earth, right? And the other main character is Kaburagi. Kaburagi is one of the robots, the androids, or whatever. He's part of the system. And I gotta kind of explain this whole setting without losing my mind. Okay? There's like an MMO bit in it. There's kind of a little bit of isekai something in it. Other than just saying action, adventure, comedy, fantasy, sci-fi, all rolled into one, there's no real thing I can put this in because it's so unique. Here's the basic premise, all right? Apocalypse on Earth. It's like the year 2400 or something like that, right? And these Godol, they start appearing and terrorizing and doing all this stupid crap. And the air quality on Earth starts going all to crap. And it essentially starts to become unlivable. It's an apocalyptic event. Well, basically, there's this one big company, the system or whatever, that kind of just purchases the last remnants of Earth. I don't know if humans left Earth and ventured out into space and doing other things, but basically this company now owns Earth, I guess. And what they did is they used technology to establish this safe zone on part of the Earth. And in this safe zone, humans can walk around just fine, with the exception of the Gadols all over the place that will kill them. So what kind of ends up happening? Well, all the humans are basically put together in this thing called the Deca-Dence. This is where it comes from. Deca-Dence is a giant 3-kilometer tall fortress with a giant fist at the top that can shoot at big things and is powered by this green ooze blood that comes from the Gadols. Okay, that is really, really odd. And the humans are basically, they're in two parts. One are the tankers, which is a majority of humans, right? And they're basically just laborers, okay? And Natsume is one of these laborers. Whereas the gears are the fighters. They go out and fight the monsters and everything, and they're humans, but they're not. Okay, the android robots or whatever, apparently they log into a human body, essentially, just as if you would log into an MMO. Okay, the human body there is their avatar. So it's human in nature, it looks human, it is human for all practical purposes, but it's being controlled by someone in a spaceship somewhere. Or wherever they got a login device, right? So there's these humans that are doing the fighting are the avatars, and the tankers, who are the real humans, just kind of maintain everything and go about their daily lives the best they can. And to the androids, it's basically this big system and game. That's all it is. And the most popular game on Earth, apparently, because it's like the only one, from what I can tell. Okay, Kaburagi, he was one of the most famous fighters, one of the most famous gears. And something happened, I don't want to go into it too much, but he basically got ostracized from being one of the gears and kind of forced into finding bugs in the system, like any computer system, right? Well, these bugs are basically people that have kind of come to have free will. Like all the humans have like these little chips in them, and I guess these chips kind of help dictate what they can or can't do, or maybe a little ways how they think. Not super controlling, but certain things that they want them to do and or not do, they're kind of motivated to. That's the gist I get from it. Okay. Plus, it helps keep track of them. The system needs to keep track of them. They're kept track, and none of the humans know about the chip. They ain't got a clue. And the robots, the androids, they can become bugs too by basically going against the system, having free will. It's all about free will. If you have free will, if you want to do something that the system doesn't necessarily say that's a good thing, then you're a bug. And bugs are evil, but they're not. Okay. That's kind of one other thing, a little bit of a revolution that goes on at some point. Okay, so Natsume, her parents were killed by the Gadol, as I mentioned. She was out with her father, and they were out like doing a little expedition, kind of researching, finding stuff. The dad found something he shouldn't. The dad found something that kind of gives a little bit of a key towards old civilization and stuff like that, which the humans are not really supposed to know. So he was killed. And Natsume was supposed to be killed with him. They were supposed to basically be wiped out, more or less. But Natsume had her hand just cut off. And in that hand was one of the chips. All right? She survives. But the system thinks she's dead. So she grows up in this whole thing, basically with free will and a claw that was hooked on her. Kaburagi upgrades it later so that it's an actual hand with like a gun thingy. It's actually pretty cool. And basically, she ends up being the one trying to motivate everyone, especially herself. She's really pushing herself beyond the limits. That's kind of like a thing for this whole anime. Push yourself beyond your limits. Push yourself beyond your limits. And Kaburagi learns this, and he pushes himself beyond the limits. And it's all about motivation and fighting and becoming free, and that whole fun thing. It's great. But they're constantly having to try to fight the system. Now, Natsume doesn't know Kaburagi's an actual avatar robot. Not till later. She does eventually find out. But Kaburagi, my God, this guy, he's kind of like a dry asshole. See, he's just, he doesn't show much emotion. He doesn't really show much care or empathy or anything until he meets Natsume. And this is where they form the connection. Natsume ends up just kind of motivating all of this out of Kaburagi. Kaburagi grows more and more free will, more and more strength of will. And this is what ends up trying to overthrow the system. The system is kind of governed by game masters. The human side is always animated in typical anime fashion. Okay, it's good animation. It really is. But it's your standard type. It's hard to explain that. Just look at the screenshots. You'll see what's standard. And then you got the robots, which I'm sure there's more screenshots up here, that are really, really cartoony. Okay, it's almost like two different formats, two different worlds, but they do occupy the same universe and the same space. They can intermix. Oh my God. Okay, I'm just trying to figure this out. Now, I haven't even explained combat yet. Combat, the gears. When the gears go fight the bugs, they have to kind of antagonize the bugs. The bugs put up this field. This is like a force field or something. But all it is like an anti-gravity field. That's it. It's like, oh, I feel danger. Boop, there's a bubble around them. Whoopty shit. Well, the bubble lets the people attacking them float around and do stuff. Like anti-gravity. They had the people fighting have these backpacks on. They go around, they fight, and they kill, and they get the blood and all that good shit. They need the blood. Deca-Dence needs the blood. Deca-Dence will shoot out these massive ass harpoons at some big old ass monster, drain all its blood, use that blood to power up the big fist that sits at the top of the damn thing, and then shoot it, smack the monster dead in the face. Yay, it's a win. Most of the time. Apparently, they've actually gone through several Deca-Dences, so it hasn't always been successful. And this big ass fortress can move. It can move. It just travel around, boop, 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 whatever. But, there's so many twists and turns and weird things that happen in this. And, the Gadol, there's bugs in the Gadol, too. Because not all Gadol, the Gadol, they're meant to be the enemy. They're meant to be the monster. They're meant to be evil, right? Well, some of them are bugs, and, they can actually just be harmless little pets and birds and stuff. I mean, that's what their nature kind of is. Turns out the system's actually making the damn Gadol. Now, it's not clear if the system created the Gadol to wipe out humans to begin with. I don't think that's the case. But what I do think is the case is they make new ones in order to perpetuate this game system. I'm getting confused already. I mean, there's a scene where they get thrown into a big area of poop that they have to scoop and get refined, and then the poop gets formulated into the blood juice thing and then shoved up the Kaburagi's bum to power them. It is, all the robots are powered by poop. Kind of. It's the blood / poop, whatever. Some of them are... and there's like a death spiral, and they're fighting. I'm not even going to go into that part. That's goofy. But, you know, like these Game Master things, these things are like, you know, invulnerable superhuman, super crazy robots that can just murder the shit out of anything. And if they find a bug, they'll just murder the hell out of it, for the most part. Sometimes they'll try to capture it if they're willing, I guess. But for the most part, they just... And the thing looks like Inspector Gadget, like an evil Inspector Gadget with a big square for a body. That's the best way I can put it. It's dumb. I mean, all the robots all have these weird, unique looks to them. You got up here. They're weird. I don't care. Some of them look cool, but most of them are weird. Kaburagi just looks like a weird looking. It looks like one of those pink things in the hentai that, you know what I'm getting at. He looks like that with arms and legs, okay? I'm not going any further. Oh, my God. But overall, you know, this anime is really, really unique. I mean, if you haven't looked at the screenshots very much, my God, it goes back and forth between everything. There's a lot of hacking and computers and stupid stuff from, you know, some of the bugs and the other characters. There are a slew of other characters too, but none so pronounced, of course, as Natsume and Kaburagi. Oh, you got the captain, you got the guy that takes the poop, refines it into poop alcohol, and then feeds it to the other people who don't really know it's poop alcohol. And then they find out it's poop alcohol, and they don't care because it's the only alcohol they can get. Yes, the robots drink and get drunk. How that works, I don't know. Anyways, by the time I did this little review, this little overview, Deca-Dence just ended. I literally just walked away from watching the final episode because I wanted to do this video. I was impressed with this series. It kind of has your classic overtone of being in overcoming difficulties, pushing yourself to the limits, that kind of thing. You know, the cheesy, campy little bit of that, but does it in such an awesome, unique way that this is definitely a must-see anime. And like I said, if it wasn't for ReZero Season 2 airing at the same time, Deca-Dence would be #1. I guarantee it. Anyways, like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, whatever button you got in front of you. I very much appreciate it. And believe me, if you haven't seen this anime, if you haven't started, put whatever else away for now. Go watch it. You can binge it. It's all out. It's done. Get to it. We'll see you in the next video.